Hi, I'm Chris Collora, and I'm here with CJ Silberman, who's the writer and director of the new film Becoming Jody II, and we're going to find out more about this new experimental film. Becoming Jody II, The Coveting offers a kaleidoscope of special effects and creative visual storytelling and editing. The story centers around Jody, the main character's daughter, who was mysteriously turned into a plastic pirate doll.
All right, so a friend of mine, Dave, was actually doing some volunteer work at a trade school, and he was cleaning up. And he found Jody in this garbage heap, and it was really beautiful because she kind of transcended from the garbage and became the central character of our movie. Through meditation, all the characters sort of came together, and each night I would meditate and the story would progress just based on my meditations. The film is like a Eraserhead meet Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And the reason that I say that is because Jody is an inanimate object. She's no longer human. After her mother, Amy, left her with the Robinsons and she became a plastic pirate. So throughout the picture, the duration of the picture, Flem, the husband, who also works as a hat blocker, that's his profession, he blames Amy for leaving Jody with the Robinsons. And as a way to make up for her lost marriage, Amy starts bringing homeless people into the house on leashes. And of course, Flem gets mad. We just had an amazing, amazing cast. I mean, they really committed to the parts. They learned their lines very quickly. And like Flem became Flem. And, you know, Jeff is the actor's name. And Kelly Rausch became Amy. So it was just, and the supporting characters are fantastic too. There's one scene where Amy is freaking out and she's basically brushing her hair really in an insane fashion to the extent that, you know, I was almost certain she was going to tear all her hair out. But she just came so close to condensing her emotions and her pathos in one instant through that repetitive motion that it became so powerful just watching it. It was better than it was written on paper. I couldn't have imagined how she played that. And then I would just say overall the acting, I think throughout the film, it's so believable because Flem and Amy, they look like, you know, they're really invested in trying to resuscitate Jody and trying to resuscitate their marriage. And one of the other great scenes is when Flem, it's kind of comedic, Flem is taken to visiting a prostitute and his wife calls while he's about to do some weird thing with her foot. And I think he says something like, oh, by the way, I wasn't just kissing a hooker's foot. It's like, you know, really out of the blue. Why would anybody say that? I think the key theme is redemption. And I want people to understand that even in a failed marriage, people can turn around and they can get along. From a visual perspective, it's kind of on the experimental side. But, you know, unlike just a pure experimental film, like Kenneth Anger film or something like that, it does have a story. The film was shot primarily in one location. As a result, we had to find a brilliant editor that could change the theme of the film visually. So anything from black and white to very muted colors to very strange editing, reminiscent of Aronofsky in Requiem for a Dream, that type of frenetic, very fast cutting. And so in order to make up for the fact that we were shooting in primarily one location, so it doesn't look static or too play-like, Jose Vasquez, the editor, made it look incredibly interesting. You know, some of it you can't even recognize anymore. So I think he just did an amazing job at trying to reiterate the film in a different language almost than it was intended. So I just hope that people enjoy the film. It's a different kind of cinematic experience because it does blend the sort of experimental visuals with this narrative. I think it's one of the first times that I know of that a film has sort of taken this route to try to tell a story and try to also engage the audience, but in a very visually impactful way.
Chris Collora reporting.